We live in Brooklyn, baby. We live in Brooklyn, baby.
Howdy-ho, folks. Hello and welcome back to Insanity Check. I'm Skillet Sauce. That's Ken, and we got music playing.
And now it's gone. Poof. All right, we are back. It is September. Football season is about to... Actually, technically it began on Wednesday.
Oh, man, I fucked up because I got a Gatorade over there and it says Jets on it. I got the Jets Gatorade.
Don't worry about it. You don't need to bring that on this camera. Because those cats are going to have Gatorade, mud, egg, tomato, and all types of
tar,
shit,
feathers, everything on their face come tomorrow. But it's going to be must-see TV.
Yeah, exactly. It is September...
What is it?
8th,
9th, 10th?
some shit like
What the
that.
fuck if I know?
September 11th is coming.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We wanted to start off today. I actually just read this. Mr. Sauce sent this to me. And I know you probably have an interest in this for a slightly different reason than I do. Yeah. The title of this is called "Do We Need Social Netiquette? A Social Netiquette Upgrade." Basically, talking about social etiquette on the internet.
Yeah.
And you talked about this several times. But basically, he loves reading the comments on whatever stories is going on that he's reading. And again, by and large, they usually devolves into
racial screaming, hatred, every kind of, ill-guided, classless, racist, bigoted comments, and it never stays on topic, and that's the main thing. You could be talking about, basket weaving or whatever, and it like I said, it devolves and degrades down into some sort of horrible personal attack on one another. And now, they come out with this, some sort of netiquette, and I guess that's a reflection of the age that we live in.
But see, this is where I disagree, because I've always said, people are forced to act in a certain way because we live in a society, because...
Password.
Oh.
Never mind this technical shit here. This is what happens when you're...
Because we live in a society, because, people will do shit to you if you do shit to them. And this is kind of what we were talking about, the whole thing with the gun control and that we believe that everyone should have a gun. Because if everyone has a gun, then
less people would get shot because they would run the risk of getting blasted themselves.
People aren't as bold, because they have a gun in their pocket when they know the 6 people around them have a gun in their pocket. So this is the same thing with the same thing with the internet, because people can sit at home, in the safety and privacy of their own home, put some stupid name up there so nobody knows who they are. They get to say everything that's on their mind. They get to be bold. What do you call them? Internet thugs. Internet
thugs. Because when you realize that there's no actual face or address. Obviously you have an IP address, but unless you have like some kind of FBI system, you're not going to be able to figure out where the person is. So you can be as horrible and as tough, as you want to be. You could say whatever you want because a person can't whip your ass.
Right.
If they could, people like that would never ever talk like that to a person, directly to their face, unless they were like MMA fighters or something like that. Fuck is that? Oh, we got a phone call?
But this actually goes right into a belief that I've held for a long, long time. And I read somewhere years ago when I was a psych major in college that Sigmund Freud said if you want to see the true nature of a human being, you look at a baby. Babies aren't taught pleasantries. They aren't taught, to be polite. They aren't taught, decency. They are doing exactly what they need and want to do at that moment. No veils, no
buffer,
nothing.
Nothing.
And obviously, baby. Now, of course, it's part of the survival instinct. The kid is hungry, but I'm hungry now. I'm not screaming at Skillet. Give me food, motherfucker, give me food. So I firmly believe that the nature of people, it's just not. We're not that good. We're not that decent.
I mean, when you look at base human beings, especially like you said, when you look at children, without guidance and stuff like that, they are selfish. Dare I say, narcissistic, and some of everything else. Obviously they're not developed and so on and so forth. But they, to me, because no matter what kind of upbringing a person has, there's always certain situations where they go back to the base human being, and the base human being is usually fucked up.
That's what I've been trying to say for the longest while. People always like, especially religious people, people aren't, that people are generally good, and
I don't believe that.
we're good. Like I said, I think we're as good as we have to be.
We're
good as we
as
have
good as the laws,
Right, that's what I'm saying, as long
because
as we have to be.
clearly, if there was a breakdown in laws, or it would be cool if they could do something like this, like law-free day, meaning you could do whatever you want. Now, you would hope that because we're so our morals and upbringing and stuff like that, we wouldn't decide to go
right, and we're entrenched in this style of living where we try not to. But again, I just when I was reading this, it just occurred to me. I was like, if we're so good, why exactly do we need a police force?
Of course, we should be able to police ourselves, but that is not the case.
If we see, if a person's, people steal because, back in the old days they stole because they needed stuff, food and but now cats steal because they just want shit.
Well, let me ask you a question. I've often said this a lot. The fact that there are laws out there saved a lot of people's lives when it came to me. Because I know, this is an indictment against my character, whatever you want to say, but I would have killed on more than one occasion if I believed that I could somehow have beaten the rap completely. Like if some crystal ball said, listen, there's no CSI trace evidence, there's nothing to connect you to this. And
David Caruso was never born?
No David Caruso, no dude with the shades, none of that shit. You will absolutely get away with this. I would have killed more than once. And I know I would have beaten several people into submission, completely into unconsciousness, into a coma. But, I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to have to do the time.
And I can't say that that's not true. It is true. That's true for me.
Yeah.
I know it's true. You people out there know it's true. And of course you have the other deterrent, which is burning in hell for all
for those people that
folks.
Religious people.
But once again, it's an outside system or circumstance that is preventing you from doing what you want to do.
Because I know a couple of times, and especially early on, I wanted to beat the living shit out of Beats. I wanted to beat the fuck out this dude. But I realized you can't really do that, and there's ramifications. If there were no repercussions,
on this and shit is like going out live.
But ramifications, and that prevents a lot of people, from doing a lot of stuff. So, but this whole netiquette shit, to me, there's no way to. How are you going to teach somebody to do something when you always? What was that quote? Something about, I think, was it Shakespeare? I forgot the quote about character is doing something when no one is
watching.
No one is watching.
Right.
And this is a perfect
doing the right thing when no one is watching.
So this is a situation where no one can actually pinpoint you.
Right.
So and it often brings out the worst. Like for instance, that people would making jokes about those three Mexican guys that got electrocuted in that video.
I thought they were Asians.
Asian Mexicans, some fucking thing. All I know is I showed them a YouTube video where these 4 people, unfortunately, were electrocuted to the point to where they burst into flames. Literally, it was smoking husks. These guys were completely bursting into flames.
I'm sorry. Do you think Beats would have done that if he was on camera?
That's exactly. He's making joke sounds about human beings that were roasted by electricity, and it wasn't quick. It wasn't no shit like in the movies. There was no hollering. No, they were frozen and then burnt, and they literally burst into flames. It was smoking, and the comments was all sorts of crispy critters and where's my marshmallows? You wouldn't say that shit if you had a face to it.
Exactly.
You would never do something like that. So this netiquette thing won't work. But I'm doing a lot of talking. I can't actually see the article before me. So is there any points that you wanted to specific points you wanted?
No, like I said, this. I don't know. I figured you would have again, since you hate all of this social networking and you referenced this before. My whole thing is, again, to me, like I said, this speaks to my position that people are not generally good. They're not good at heart. They do what they need to do to function in the system that they have, which is a society which has rules, which has law enforcement,
social restraints,
and an umbrella of fucking religion and some type of consequence to the shit that you want to actually do.
Because seriously, you just look back in human history. when there were less laws, you had more barbaric actions. You know, people would pillage, they would do whatever until, you know, that particular society or whatever, you know, rose up and said, you know, enough, or and then they offered resistance because those cultures or societies that were weak or meek or whatever, you know, they just got overrun. And it was nothing, you know, you figure, okay, if humans were so good, they would police themselves and go, you know what, maybe I shouldn't go over there to that village and, you know, take all of its natural resources, rape the women and kill them. Maybe I shouldn't because, you know, they can't defend themselves, you know, so I should police my, get the fuck out. Those are the people they went for first.
Right, and we'll leave you on this, that famous quote, power corrupts, absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah.
If we were all so decent and good, we wouldn't even have that issue.
No.
We will be back, and yeah, stay right there.
Play some music, man.